Gray wolf, the howl that shatters the frozen forest. Amidst the northern frost, where biting winds blow and snow lies thick, a steadfast figure raises its howl, resounding as a symbol of the wild and the strength of unity. That is the gray wolf, the most famous wolf in the world. The gray wolf, Canis lupus, is a carnivore from the dog family, widely distributed across North America, Europe, and Asia. It typically weighs between 30 and 60 kilograms, with some individuals exceeding 80 kilos. The Arabian wolf is compact, measuring only 60 centimeters, while the northwestern wolf reaches nearly 1 meter, massive and powerful. The true wonder is that a wolf's howl is more than just a sound echoing through the forest. It is a language of emotion, carrying longing, warning, and the sacred bond of the pack. Each pack has its own unique tone, an acoustic fingerprint that defines its voice in the wild. Many believe that wolves howl at the moon, but this is not true. They lift their heads only to let the sound travel farther, carrying their call clearly through deep forests and across wide mountain slopes, linking pack members together even when they are separated by miles. The most distinctive feature of the gray wolf is its warm, thick double coat. The outer layer is long and coarse, often gray, brown, or white, helping them blend perfectly into every landscape, from snow-covered forests to dark grasslands. The inner layer is soft and downy, retaining heat for the body, even in the harshest winter. Hidden beneath the thick gray fur is a velvety undercoat clinging to the body like a perfect coat bestowed by nature. It is this wondrous protective layer that allows the gray wolf to retain warmth in the bitter cold, standing firm in lands where temperatures can plummet to minus 40 degrees Celsius, 40 C. When the breeding season arrives, the atmosphere within the wolf pack becomes feverish. The males face each other, their eyes blazing, their breath mingling with the cold. It is not just a contest for mating rights, but nature's way of selecting the strongest individual, the worthy leader to guide the entire pack through the harsh winter. A deep growl echoes through the forest, like a call from ancient instinct. Two wolves stand face to face in the morning mist, their eyes meeting in a silent blend of challenge and understanding. There is no longer a boundary between strength and weakness, only two souls reflecting one another, wanderers of the wild, carrying in their hearts a quiet pride and an unyielding devotion to freedom. That battle is not merely a contest to find the strong, but a primitive ritual of nature. Every feint and every growl carries the meaning of affirming status and re-establishing order within the pack. When silence returns, the victor not only gains the right to lead, but also shoulders the responsibility of safeguarding the entire pack's unity. The winner becomes the alpha, carrying the right to perpetuate the bloodline and maintain the pack's order. The loser, however, must depart, embarking on a solitary journey into the deep wilderness. Away from the pack, every day of survival is a trial, where instinct and the memory of the pack become the sole sources of strength to endure. But the order within the pack exists not only to preserve the bloodline, but also as the key that allows the group to adapt, unite, and overcome the harsh challenges of survival in the wild. As the snow begins to melt and the sunlight lingers longer each day, the breath of spring slowly awakens the land. Water trickles through the melting ice. Trees come to life once more, and in that fleeting moment between seasons, the gray wolf welcomes a new generation. From the moment they are born, every wolf carries within them a remarkable gift of adaptation. Wolf pups enter the world with blue eyes, but as they grow, those eyes gradually turn yellow, amber, or pale gray, a reflection of their maturing vision, preparing them for life in the wild. Each pack is led by an alpha pair, male and female, bound together as nature's perfect partners. They lead with unity, hunt in harmony, nurture their young, and uphold order, becoming the guiding spirit that keeps the entire pack together. The gray wolf is a loyal creature, choosing one mate and remaining together for life. When winter arrives and the forest lies blanketed in snow, they still move side by side, leaving on the frozen ground the quiet imprint of a bond that never fades. The gray wolf is a persistent hunter. Rather than relying on individual strength, they work in perfect coordination as a pack. When hunting, their targets are often hoofed animals, such as deer, elk, or reindeer. The pack's strategy is not to launch an all-out attack straight away, but to pursue relentlessly, using their endurance to wear down the opponent, forcing it into exhaustion before delivering the final blow. The gray wolf is a master of endurance. It can maintain a speed of 50 to 60 kilometers per hour for hours on end, relentlessly pursuing its prey until the chase is won. In the wild, victory does not belong to the swiftest, but to the one that never stops. This is the art of hunting forged through patience and unyielding will. It is this very spirit that has made the gray wolf a symbol of enduring strength and unwavering determination in the untamed world. A pack of wolves spots a lone deer at the edge of the forest. The gray shadows glide silently, blending with the lively rhythm of footsteps dancing across the white snow. The deer flinches softly, its eyes glimmering with a mix of fear and the will to endure. It moves forward, no longer in flight, but on a quiet journey to preserve its own breath amid the cold expanse of the wilderness. The river becomes a harsh trial. In that fleeting moment, the gray wolf and the one who flees are no longer rivals, but part of the same struggle of will and instinct, where the only desire that remains is to go on living. Both give everything they have, not for victory or defeat, but for the deepest yearning within all life in the wild, the desire simply to go on living. On land, the wolf is a symbol of endurance and unyielding will. Even in the freezing waters, its hunting instinct and drive to survive burn brightly, like a flame that never fades amidst the ice. That victory is proof of nature's harshness. And for the gray wolf, every takedown of prey is a reaffirmation of the power of unity, the weapon that makes them masters of endurance. The return of the gray wolf to Yellowstone National Park in the United States transformed the entire ecosystem. Their presence restored balance among animal populations and vegetation, creating one of the most remarkable phenomena in ecology, known as the trophic cascade effect. The gray wolf is not only a predator, but also plays a vital role in the ecosystem. By controlling the numbers of deer and elk, they allow vegetation to regenerate, maintaining balance across both forest and grassland. Kaziranga, the lethal arena of master predators. Kaziranga, the untamed land of the northeast of India, where each breath moves in balance between life and death. With the break of dawn, a white mist settles over the grasslands like a gossamer veil, masking the hunter's tread and the quivering eyes of the hunted. Under the thick canopy of the jungle, the Bengal tiger melts into shadow, waiting with patience for the perfect moment. Overhead, in the stillness of the clouds, another hunter keeps watch, the crested eagle, emblem of pride, precision, and sudden death. Its dark brown fur merges with the canopy, sprinkled with white spots that shine like shooting stars streaking through the night. Around the eyes, a bright yellow glows like a beacon, prepared to confront any creature bold enough to enter its territory. With its proud, backward-arching crest and eyes as sharp as a blade, it does more than simply look. It reads each heartbeat and each breath of the prey beneath the damp grass. Not the smallest motion can evade that cold and relentless watch. It has no need to soar high and no urge to rush. It remains still upon an ancient branch, claws holding fast to the coarse bark. As silent as the spirit of the deep woods, it waits for the perfect moment when every error will be repaid in blood. From the slightest quiver of the short grass, like a breath released from the heart of the earth, the crested eagle senses its quarry. The snake slips quietly toward the dew-soaked trunk, every motion as smooth as running water. Upon the high branch, the eagle stands still. Talons as hard as steel hold fast to the coarse bark. The wind stirs, leaves tremble, clouds pass, yet it does not shift. The entire world may alter, but it alone does not. Beneath, the snake moves forward, its body curling with fluid grace. Whenever it stops, the golden eyes of the eagle narrow, gauging each span and sensing every heartbeat like a cold and relentless deity of judgment. Not a sound, not a single beat of wings. All is frozen until the moment comes. The eagle spreads its wings wide, ripping through the air, plunging like a black arrow filled with perfect power and precision. The talons clamp down, driving through the cold, damp scales. The snake twists in a last desperate struggle, yet the eagle's shadow has already fallen over the dew-soaked grass. A life closes, and the cruel law of the old forest is written again. Dawn gradually unfolds over Kaziranga, a fine silver mist drifting softly through the canopy. Below, the pulse of the forest continues in silence, awaiting the first summer breeze to carry the fragrance of timber and foliage through the air. The noise of claws and shrill cries disappears, giving way to a soft and resonant harmony. From the tallest crown of the forest, a mating call rings out, brushing against each delicate shaft of sunlight that slips through the ocean of green foliage. High in the airy expanse, The two birds meet. Each motion is light as a whisper of breath, each look as though wishing to dissolve into the other, fearful of breaking the delicate balance suspended between the heavens and the woodland below. The skies over Kaziranga hold more than a single king. When the shadow of the crested eagle vanishes behind the treetops, another hunter appears, quicker and more daring. Its gaze cuts through every layer of foliage, overlooking nothing. The changeable hawk was born to adapt flawlessly, merging with the breath of the Kaziranga forest, at once shadow and light. It requires no vivid plumage or lofty crest, holding in itself the strength of stillness and the daring of a bold predator. All creatures under the canopy sense the icy, unyielding gaze that follows their every motion. A slim form marked with black stripes along the chest and belly, each spread of its wings like the movement of wood grain. Its deep brown eyes mirror the light of the forest, but inside is the force of a furious tempest. Its changing feathers serve not to show off but to hide. It turns into an unforeseen shadow within the canopy, capable of emerging from any place at any time, with its prey realizing only in the last instant. Gliding along the forest's edge, it sweeps over the treetops like a chill wind. Each thicket and each clearing is scrutinized in detail, and the slightest lapse becomes the start of a fatal pursuit. In one beat of its wings, its curved talons, keen as knives, plunge down in a blow as absolute as a death warrant. No cry is heard, only a lethal stillness before the forest comprehends what has occurred. Its banquet of prey knows no bounds. Small birds, lizards, snakes, flying squirrels, bats, and even young monkeys may all fall victim. Any lapse, however brief, is repaid with a life. Speed alone is not what makes it so formidable. It is the capacity to read the tiniest movements of its quarry, anticipate its path of escape, and finish the hunt with one decisive blow that marks it as a true master. Each mouse or young bird it brings down is a link in preserving the balance of the forest. It is not merely a hunter, but a guardian of order among the myriad creatures beneath Kaziranga's canopy. Though it reigns over the skies, the urge to reproduce still simmers beneath the surface. The breeding season is not merely a moment of creation, but a fresh struggle to guard the delicate lives about to emerge. Unlike the crested eagle, which selects nesting sites close to pathways, the hawk seeks the highest of ancient trees. In these places, where the wind is strong and the canopy stretches wide, it makes the forest's crown into a proud fortress against the deep blue heavens. The nest is formed from thick, dry branches, bound tightly with roots and dry leaves, strong as a wall. Some are as tall as a meter, standing unshaken in the gale, serving as the cradle for delicate new life. Its sweeping paths around the nest form a ring of protection that cannot be breached. Each stroke of its wings projects dominating presence, declaring to every creature that this airspace is held by an unchallenged sovereign. They remain watchful for every noise, prepared to descend from height to repel any danger. All strangers are halted before they can come near the fortress set between the clouds and the green canopy. The crested eagle is the master of silence, whereas the hawk is the warrior of the open skies. Strong in the chase and formidable in guarding its territory, they maintain undisputed rule over the skies of Kaziranga. Every flight traces a fresh stroke upon the wilderness. The sky may be their arena, yet the law of survival is inscribed not only aloft, but also in the struggles playing out under the thick forest canopy. Kaziranga is claimed by no one ruler. From the skies, through the treetops, to the ground below, each creature holds its place, together weaving the unending cycle of life and death between severity and unspoiled beauty. With every season that passes, new tales unfold. The hunter of today may be the quarry of tomorrow, yet each contributes to sustaining the heartbeat of Kaziranga's wild symphony. Okavango, the honey badger who defies death itself. The honey badger is a warrior without a throne, requiring no crown, only the bravery to survive. It is not a giant predator, but it is the greatest fear of those known as hunters, a creature that no one dares to underestimate. On the land of the Okavango Plains, that small shadow silently slides through the tall grass. With a low gait, its body long, its head almost pressed to the earth as though leaving no trace in the world of survival. Each step is calm, yet holds something that makes even nature cautious. No roar or imposing figure is required. This creature possesses an unshakable belief that it cannot be overcome by any foe. In the wild world where life is constantly at risk, that creature walks on, unperturbed. The honey badger is a symbol of tenacity, never retreating and never yielding to any of nature's brutal forces. Only a mere 1 meter long, yet the honey badger possesses the strength to make even the biggest predators wary, daring to defy every natural law. Small in stature, but mighty in the eyes of its foes. Its fur is a marvel of natural selection. The rough, silvery gray outer coat runs along its back like armor. The thick, elastic black undercoat is tough enough to withstand the fangs and claws of its foes. The skin around its neck and nape is 6 millimeters thick, soft and loose, like a protective cushion for survival. When bitten, it can quickly turn its head and strike back at the attacker with a swift, powerful bite. Short legs, a low body, but every muscle fiber tightens with each movement. The front claws are long and curved, sharp enough to dig into termite mounds, tear through bark, or pierce tough soil. When necessary, they become true deadly weapons. The honey badger's eyes are not fiery, nor do they show any aggression. They are dark, deep, watchful, and resolute. Each look carries a message that needs no words. In the wild, being poisoned often equals death. But for the honey badger, it's merely a small hurdle. There have been times when it has been bitten by a venomous snake, lying motionless for only a few minutes, then waking as though it had just had a quick rest amidst the battlefield. Its body contains a peculiar antibody, like the quiet gift of evolution. This antibody enables it to neutralize most of the lethal venom from snakes such as cobras, vipers, or even the stealthy killer camouflaged beneath the leaves. Though not entirely invincible, this ability is sufficient to make the honey badger the terror of silent killers. In the wild swamps, where competition is the law of survival, there exists an alliance that seems improbable. A small, brown-gray bird flies low, heading towards the strangest ally nature has ever crafted, the honey badger. The honey guide bird detects beehives from a distance. Upon scenting the honey, it circles the honey badger and emits a series of distinctive sounds. No explanation is needed, no training required. The honey badger understands the message, as if it were an age-old signal. The honey badger springs into action. It breaks through the hive's outer layer, driving off the bees that are fiercely defending it. When the fat larvae are pulled from the hive, it eats first. But the remaining honey, sweet and pure, is always left for its small companion. In the wild world of cunning and betrayal, the quiet cooperation between a small bird and a tenacious predator stands as evidence of remarkable adaptive intelligence. Not out of friendship, but because they both understand that survival sometimes starts with trust. Across the sun-baked savanna, the deep roar reverberates through the air. Each gaze is a declaration of supreme power, one that no one dares to challenge. At the front is the mature female, her eyes as sharp as blades. Beside her are the males, their manes tousled by the wind. They do not hunt, they simply walk, like proud warriors, demanding the world bow before them. But today, there is a creature that does not. In the stifling heat, a small movement causes the lead lion to halt. A creature is digging a den, not fleeing, not looking back. Alone, but enough to defy the gaze of the one at the top of the food chain. It is the honey badger. The lion advances. No roar, no stalking, just the steps of curiosity mixed with challenge. But instead of retreating, the honey badger turns around. Unafraid, unruffled, a calm look, like the parched earth. Then it lets out a soft growl and lunges forward. The confrontation lasts less than a minute. A few strikes, a few counterattacks. But that's all it takes. The lion withdraws. Not out of fear, but because size doesn't matter. Courage is what truly determines the outcome. As the first rains of the season start to fall over the parched Okavango, the air turns more refreshing. The smell of blood and earth is replaced by another fragrance, quietly drifting in the breeze. A delicate yet alluring scent beckons. The nest gradually forms beneath the soft earth. There's no need for moonlight or romance, only the warmth of two bodies quietly preparing for a new generation. Life doesn't start with noise, but with a deep, unnamed instinct. When the baby honey badger is born, under the devoted care of its mother, it gradually grows, learns, and adapts to the harsh realities of survival. Its mother teaches it the vital skills needed to deal with the challenges of nature, from finding food to protecting itself from predators. With its keen nose and sharp claws, the honey badger can swiftly dig through the earth, overturning every nook and cranny to find hidden prey. Its perseverance and agility make every enemy cautious. When confronted by the leopard, the honey badger displays no fear. It hisses in defiance, bristles its fur in warning, and is prepared to attack, determined to protect its cub at all costs. As time goes by, the cub no longer trembles as it did when confronted by the leopard. Now, it walks with greater steadiness, slowly leaving the nest, carrying the gaze that has learned how to survive in the wild. An adult honey badger can take down a tortoise by itself, thanks to its incredibly strong jaws. It bites through the hard shell to reach the meat inside, making the tortoise a valuable source of protein. Each day, it can wander for miles in search of food. The honey badger overlooks no opportunity, even feeding on the carcasses left behind after other animals' hunts. Though small in stature, the honey badger can run at speeds of up to 30 kilometers per hour. This agility enables it to easily escape danger or pursue small prey when necessary. During the harsh dry season, when many species are forced to leave in search of better conditions, the honey badger remains determined, following old tracks. It digs the earth for eggs, sniffs out carcasses, and searches every nook and cranny for anything that can sustain its life. The honey badger's journey of survival is a vivid testament that size does not determine all. It is bravery that brings about immortality. The honey badger is not merely a clever hunter. It is a symbol of an unyielding spirit, of a fierce desire to survive amidst the harshness of nature. As the sunset descends over Okavango, those small shadows silently forage for survival. No crown, only deep black eyes and a step that never knows retreat. golden-headed lion tamarin, the torch of the Amazon rainforest. In the heart of Brazil's Amazon rainforest, dawn bursts forth like a brilliant golden flame. Amid the dense canopy, a tiny silhouette gleams. It is the living torch that guides the way into the secret world of the green wilderness. That is the golden-headed lion tamarin, a name both regal and mysterious. Its glossy mane shines like the sun, turning it into a radiant symbol of the forest. Barely half a meter in size, yet do not be deceived. Each leap is a flawless display of balance, where strength and agility blend as one. They live in groups, bound together like warriors on the same front line. The young are not protected by the mother alone, but by the whole troop, which nurtures and trains them like an invincible army in the midst of the raging forest. Their shrill calls echo through the air. It is the language of vigilance, for here, danger lurks in every shadow above. An eagle spreads its wings. A dark shadow dives as swift as a blade. The tamarin troop erupts in chaos, cries piercing the sky. The young one trembles upon a fragile branch. The moment between life and death lasts no more than a blink. Claws slice through the air. Unity cannot save the young, and a heart-wrenching cry echoes through the canopy. The ancient forest falls silent, leaving only the tragic imprint of a brutal hunt. In the Amazon world, the price of a single misstep is life itself. The tamarin troop clings tightly to one another, carrying in their hearts an invisible wound witnessed by the entire ancient forest. They slowly return to their daily rhythm, climbing without pause, darting from branch to branch, searching through every dense leaf. Their life is an endless symphony of motion, never once at rest. Each member is a vital piece of the whole. Every leap, every call echoing through the jungle is a heartbeat sustaining the survival of the species. Food is not always at hand. When hunger strikes, from sweet fruits and tiny insects to swift lizards, all can become a lavish feast upon the branches. The surprising truth is that they are the very sowers of the forest. Each seed that passes through their hands and stomach is entrusted to sprout and flourish in some distant corner. Yet even as life is quietly sown, among the leaves the margay appears, its lithe body moving like a shadow, ready to turn any moment of peace into a deadly chase. The margay, a striped phantom gliding across the branches, its cold eyes fixed, its breath suspended. It locks onto its target, a young tamarin plucking fruit. The gap closes, muscles coil. A terrifying leap tears through the air. But the prey is quicker. The troop's cries erupt, and the young tamarin leaps to another branch just in time. The strike falls into emptiness, leaving the margay in bitter, resentful defeat. Life escapes in a fleeting instant, where the boundary between survival and death is as fragile as a single breath. The rustle of leaves and the startled cries still echo, a reminder that in this forest, a single moment of neglect is enough for death to strike without granting a second chance. The wild is forever steeped in harshness, where every moment may be paid for in blood. Yet within that very harshness, beauty bursts forth with fierce brilliance, more radiant and unforgettable than anywhere else. Hornbill, the knight with a helmet of the ancient forest. At dawn in the ancient forests of Southeast Asia, when mist still weaves through the crowns of towering trees, a deep sound echoes through the air. It is not the wind, nor the call of a predator, but the powerful beating of wings, like the sound of war drums. Emerging against the vast blue sky is a magnificent creature, with a long, bright yellow beak crowned by a large casque, like the helmet of a warrior. This is the hornbill, the ruler of the tropical forest skies. The hornbill is one of the largest birds of the Asian tropical forests, with a wingspan of over 1 meter, a powerful body, and wings that produce a distinctive whistling sound. The casque on its beak is not just for display. It is a powerful weapon in battles, a tool for picking fruit from high branches, and an important signal for attracting a mate. When flying, the sound of air being cleaved by its wings is like an axe striking through the sky, echoing throughout the forest and announcing its presence to all creatures. Hornbills are known as the seed sowers of the ancient forest. They eat fruit, swallow the seeds whole, then fly far away and release them in new areas. Thanks to this, forests are regenerated and the ecosystem is sustained. Without hornbills, the tropical rainforest would lose part of its vitality. When the mating season arrives, the males begin fierce combat rituals. The sound of their beaks clashing echoes like swords and spears striking on a battlefield. Hornbills usually live alone or in pairs. They rarely form large flocks like many other bird species. The most remarkable trait of the hornbill is its enduring love. Once it has chosen a mate, it remains bonded for life. This faithfulness makes the bird a sacred symbol of love and loyalty. To protect the eggs and chicks from all dangers, the female hornbill performs an extraordinary act. She seals herself inside a hollow of an ancient tree. For many long months, she entrusts her life entirely to the male, who tirelessly flies back and forth, bringing figs, berries, and even lizards, passing them through the narrow slit. It is an act of absolute sacrifice for love and life. This is not just a reproductive ritual, but a heroic tale of fatherly devotion and absolute loyalty, rarely seen in the natural world. The hornbill's distinctive call, a deep, resonant sound with a lingering echo, can carry for several kilometers. Many cultures regard the hornbill as a sacred creature, a symbol of rebirth and wisdom, depicted in carvings, stories, and indigenous beliefs. With an astonishing lifespan that can exceed 40 years, each adult hornbill has sown the seeds for thousands of young trees, helping to shape the life of the ancient forest for generations. The hornbill's casque, also known as the ivory of the beak, holds high value on the black market, making them relentless targets for hunters. Losing the hornbill is not just the loss of a magnificent bird, but also the loss of the forest's primary architect. The entire ecosystem would face the risk of collapse if the powerful beat of its wings were to vanish forever from the sky. The hornbill is not only the artist of the forest, but also the warrior who keeps the flame of life alive. Preserving their call is preserving the very soul of the ancient forest.